Hello everyone, welcome to week 2. In this week we are going to actually take a look at some of the content that we have covered in previous lecture. But in previous lecture I just asked you guys to read the PowerPoint and just go browse over through chapter 1. But in this tutorial I'm going to go in more details about certain HTML tags that you can use. And so we are going to actually also use the students files that comes with this book. For your convenience, I just actually put them as a zip file, as you can see here. You can click on this file and unzip it to a destination on your desktop or somewhere in your files. So for example, I actually unzip it in here. So I can go, once I click there, this is my unzipped file. So I can double click on it and then I can click on HTML01 and you can see all of these material. These are actually all the files that are associated with chapter 1 of your book. There are 4 case studies, which is always good if you want to gain more information. There is a demo that you can use. There are, at the end of the chapter, there is a review case. So you have the content for that. And also, there is something called tutorial. So actually, in this week, we are going to actually talk about this tutorial. So this is actually a website for curbside tie. And all the content, all the logos, all the pictures, and some of the pages are here. So what I'm going to ask you guys is to look at the PowerPoint presentation that I prepared for you. And that is basically outline of all these HTML tags. So we're going to click on that. And I'm going to open that up. And you can see it's tutorial 1 section 1.2. So some of the objectives of this chapter, these are the things that we are going to actually learn on this chapter. And as you can see, I'm covering the tags that are important. So I have a file for you and I have the output for you. So you can see once you put, for example, H1, the tag H1, what is the difference between that and H2 and H3? You can see it here. Also for P for paragraph, that indicates a basic paragraph information, and basically you can tell a web browser where a paragraph of the text begins with a P. It's an opening paragraph tag. So again, I have it here, and you can see the output here. There are a lot of different tags. You can actually go to your book, and as you can see, there are a lot of HTML tags that has been discussed. So I'm trying to cover most of them, but not all of them in this tutorial. So you can actually follow this and you can practice it. I'm going to show you another website that is very convenient to practice, and that's called w3schools.com. So you can go to w3schools.com and they have an editor here, you see. So basically I can go here, and for w3schools.com you have the editor right there. So once you put the code, you can just run it immediately and it's very fast. So they have about all of these things, HTML, the CSS. They have about the Bootstrap, which is also very famous nowadays in the field of programming. So let's click on the HTML, and they have HTML5 tutorials. So let's just go to a basic HTML. So in here, we can click on Try Yourself. And you can see that you can type here whatever you want. If you want to practice your tags, like for example the heading, you can put it here, and then the output will be shown here. So if I'm going to change this to H2, for example, let's say, and then run it, you see that it has changed. So if I want to just add another H1 maybe here, another, so I'm going to put, so this would be my second heading, and this would be my first heading. H1, and I'm going to hit run. So you can see that you can see the output right there. So that's the difference between the H1 and H2. So if you want, so then you can see for the paragraph, when you start a paragraph, this would be your paragraph. These are being used for the headings. So this is a good website that you can use as well. So let's go back to our tutorial. So the other thing that I will talk about is the list. And in your book, if you go through your book, there are going to be similar things, but it's going to be for the curbside tie. But the tags are the same, just the content is different. So you can, so for your exercise, you will actually going to apply these tags to the curbside website. So for the list, we are using the UL as a list. And as you can see, we can use this if you have a list of recipes, list of maybe items that we want to list, and so on. And so we use the UL style with the LI tag. And then, oh, sorry, I think I cut this up. And then the strong tag also emphasizes the text. So in here, again, you can see that I use a strong, I use bold, because these are different type of styles in HTML. I use the italic and subscript. So you can see the difference, how the style is actually showing here. So I give you the output as well. The other thing that we talk about is the address tag. So let's say you want to have an address of this restaurant. That's what we have here. So you can use the address tag, and then this BR is the line break. So that means that the curbside tie is in one line, then you have the rest of them in the other one. So you see I have two line breaks here, and that's why the line goes to the next line. And then, of course, when you have an address tag, you want to make sure you close your address tag. Also, adding special characters. So, for example, if I wanted to look like this for the special character, so you can use the character entity reference. So you can see the @ ball for the bullet character. So the bullet character, you will use the @ ball. So that's why after each sentence that I have, I can put @ ball and then semicolon, and then you will see this bullet showing up here. So these are the special characters. Inline images, as you can see in the web page that you are going to create, you are going to have some kind of images. Why we call them inline images? Because it link the text level element in line with surrounding contents. And it always includes the alt attribute. It is actually required in HTML, but it's highly recommended as a way of accommodating users running a non-visual web browser. It helps them a lot to have the alt tag. So for example, this is the image. So you can put the image source. That could be a JPEG file, it could be GIF file or PNG. And then you have the alt here, which, the alt element describes the pictures. And then you have the style by the width, by the pixel, by the height, and you can put that in there as well. The next thing that we are going to talk about is the HTML hyperlink. Again, in the example that you're going to create, you're going to create some hyperlinks. So HTML links are basically hyperlinks. You can click on a link and basically it takes you to another place. And you can actually, when you move the mouse over a link, the mouse arrow will turn into a little hand, and you know that that's the link. A link doesn't have to be a text. It can also be an image or another HTML document. So in this picture here, in this link, here, you can see I use the href, and I am linking it to lynda.com, which is another site that actually offers a lot of tutorials, and as a part of USF you have access to all the materials on lynda.com. Lynda.com is also very useful for using for any type of programming that you might want to have, and it has all these tutorials, step-by-step instructions, as well as the files for it. And so you can see this is when I click here, this will actually take me to lynda.com. Also, HTML links, you can create a bookmark. So in here, you see I want to jump to chapter 4. So I can use that as a ID. So I'm going to use the href as C4. So this would be an ID tag. So I'm going to actually in here, so if you want people to jump to this chapter, you can see that we are putting the ID equals C4 in here. So in this way, when they click on this, it will take them to chapter 4. So that's like a bookmark that you can use. It's very useful in the web pages. Okay, so that's it for this chapter, for this tutorial. So what you're going to create, you're going to create this resulting page that looks like this. So you're going to follow the example in this tutorial, and then look at the picture files and other files that can be downloaded from the student tutorial zip file, which I've shown you already. So the tutorial, the zip file is actually on, let me just go back. It is under here. You can unzip that as I showed you, and then after you unzip it, you get something like that. And you can click on HTML and tutorial, and so you're going to create, so you can see these are all the images that you can use, but you're going to, these are HTML files. So you see this is a HTML file here. So you can actually click on CT About, and so you're going to create this page. So you're going to create this page with the hyperlink, but you don't have to actually create the other pages, just About Us. You don't have to create the location, menu, reviews, catering, contact. I just want you to create this first page with the hyperlink of it. And so that would be for your next exercise. So this will actually going to cover our chapter 1. So we will be done with chapter 1 after this. But please, I'm not going to require you to do any of the case problems for this chapter. But if you want to learn more and practice, you can actually try and use one of the case problems for this chapter. But right now, I just want you guys to kind of get a hands-on to HTML5. And especially some of you might actually took one of the courses before that covers HTML5 already. So for you guys, it's going to be a review. So definitely for those people who have taken the HTML5 before, I want you guys to concentrate on the case problems. So rather than following the tutorial, you can actually use one of the case problems and create the web page based on the case problems. So in this class, I have some students who have never taken HTML5. I have some students who have taken it, but this course will be HTML5 and JavaScript. So I have to cover a lot of materials from the HTML5 for half of the semester, and then the next part of the semester I have to cover JavaScript. So that's why for those people who have taken the HTML5 already, these materials are kind of review. But please make sure that you are doing the case problem, so at least you are adding some value to yourself. And so if you have any questions, please let me know. I'm here to help you guys, and I hope you have a great rest of the week. Take care. Bye-bye.